Welcome to Tech in Translation, the podcast where we break down the complexities of today's most innovative technologies into something we can all understand.
Brought to you by Ironbow Technologies, a leading IT solutions provider. We're committed to helping our customers across the government, education, commercial, and healthcare sectors turn their tech challenges into real, actionable outcomes.
At Ironbow, we believe that technology should be a tool for empowerment, not a source of confusion.
That's why each episode of Tech in Translation is designed to demystify the latest trends, tools, and technologies, making them accessible for everyone, whether you're a seasoned professional or just tech curious.
Join us as we translate complex tech into everyday language, one episode at a time.
Welcome to Tech in Translation, the podcast where we break down today's most innovative technologies into everyday language. I'm your host, Tom Wootton. Cybersecurity Awareness Month may have ended, but the threats facing organizations never take a break. That's why today's episode every month is Cybersecurity Month. Staying ahead of evolving threats is all about how businesses can build resilience all year long. Joining me is Ben Davis, Manager of Systems Engineering at Palo Alto Networks, who covers all of North America and helps organizations of all sizes navigate today's cybersecurity challenges. Ben, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Tom.
Before we dig in, can you share a bit about your role at Palo Alto Networks and what excites you most about the innovations you're driving right now?
Yeah, definitely. As you said, I cover all of North America. It's a big breadth. We try to do a lot. We're also covering not only just the SMB commercial space, but also I cover SLED. There's a lot of different nuances to that and a lot of new things. So we're always battling and seeing unique things, getting a lot of different perspectives from everyone. One of the other unique ventures that I have is we have a thing called the Academy and with our SEs. So I also train new Academy SEs up and coming and generate the next generation of SEs to sell Palo.
Okay. That's pretty cool, man. We've all heard about Zero Trust Network Architecture 2.0, but now the conversation is shifting. How are AI and browser capabilities reshaping the cybersecurity landscape?
That is a really great question, Tom. And I know recently at Ignite, you were there on a panel. AI is definitely one of Palo's big critical areas that we're really going in on. How much of Ignite did we talk about AI?
About the whole thing?
Yeah. About the whole thing. And how do you use AI? You got the browser, right?
Absolutely.
We're still on that side of using things like ChatGPT and everything. So AI is critical. We're worried more on our data protection side instead of our connectivity. We've already mastered that. ZTNA 2.0, our SASE platform, we've mastered it. We've got that, we say, best in breed out there. Now we're mastering AI, and you can see that moving to the future.
Can you walk us through what Prisma Browser and Prisma AI are doing to address those challenges and opportunities?
Yeah, that's actually like one of the key areas is a lot of people are still wondering, what does AI do? What is the threat of it? Why is everyone talking about, hey, ChatGPT, Gen AI, let's use it, let's move? They don't know about the security issues. They don't know how much of a newborn AI still is. There's a lot of threats and unknowns. It's a big black box. So we're heading on that side of protecting everyone while they're going down that adventure. So we have our AI red teaming on that to do the testing for you, because no one's thinking about those things of what can this model do that or release information that is very important to our business. We want to make sure that none of those prompts, some basic things that your EA of your major executive punches in some notes inside of a chat and then 2 months down the road during a retraining gets exposed. Now, you have secrets of an executive out there.
I love the analogy of the newborn. I hadn't thought of it that way. So, one thing that doesn't go away after Cybersecurity Awareness Month is the human factor, talking of newborn. What are some of the most common risky behaviors, like turning off VPNs or shadow IT, that you're seeing in organizations today?
Those will always be there of having those, risky behaviors. And that's where we're moving to the browser. If you have your, remote workers out there having that browser on there that we can monitor, that we can have that data so you can still have those insights in there without the worry, the VPN's causing issues, that stigma is still there. And we can then still monitor their use of Gen AI. Then when they're using those activities, when they're accessing data, that we still have the visibility so you can analyze those risks.
Okay, so how can leaders enforce good security practices without crushing productivity or user experience?
That's where gaining that visibility and insight is definitely very important. Using, Prisma browser there, you'll be able to see what your users are using, what websites are they using. You can gain all of that intel. Right now, you have all of your firewalls out there, or the ease of use you can use on our SASE side. If you're using Prisma Access, you can use those rules as well on the Prisma browser to be able to have that. But gaining those insights is the first thing that you need to have, and that's what we're providing to make those decisions easier for the leaders.
Okay. So you talked about covering all of North America. Can you share a success story where Prisma Browser made a meaningful difference?
Yeah. We have an education where they were having a lot of issues with the good old Google Chromebooks. They had those all deployed, they were rolled out, but it doesn't provide all of the insights and visibility into what's happening out there. So the school, it was a K-12, went out and rolled out Prisma Browser. They wanted to see what was happening. Well, what are all these things out there? If you start hearing, teachers talking about what is all this skibbity stuff and everything, they're wondering, is this new malware? What's happening out there? And it's just another one of those internet memes out there that the younger generation's using.
Yes, the internet lingo.
Yeah, so now that they're able to roll that out very easily, looks just like a Chrome browser. They were used to that out there, and they were gaining all of the insights on the security, all of the websites that they were using, because also during the big C, the COVID out there, they had to open up a lot of educational websites because everything started going online, and they're worried. They didn't know what were they allowing, what were they not, because those educational sites were also using third parties out there. And so they're just whitelisting.
You're wanting to secure that communication.
Yeah, and they were trying to lock that down. They didn't know what it really was or what was there. So they deployed out, rolled the Prisma browser into there, and were able to start gaining those insights, start restricting things, limiting their risk vectors. And mainly, the key thing was protecting the children from being able to have access to any sites that they shouldn't, and also compliancy standards. Hey, you have to have all your reporting and everything on what the children have access to and all your reportables as well, and it helped out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Wow. That's a lot. What commonalities and differences do you see when engaging with customers across all segments, the SMBs, mid-market, enterprise, and how do those differences inform how you engage with them?
I can be on a call one day with a gas and oil. I can be an hour later with a K-12, an hour later with a small gov. And those differences end up culminating into the same, problem is a worry of security risk or the lack of visibility. There's a lot of differences that come between these different organizations, but it can all be really generalized and summarized. And everyone's just worried. They're wondering what the next new threat is. They're wondering what it is. Then you have to summarize down into their specific vertical because they're worried about different things with their OT networks or their reporting requirements. And you just kind of summarize, just walk them through it, be able to summarize where it is, and then how can Palo help solve those at a high level and give them that visibility and that, safeguards that they need.
Nice. Awareness campaigns get attention in October, but what should organizations be doing the other 11 months to stay ahead?
Cybersecurity is always evolving, is always changing. We want to make sure education's continuing going forward. You have to have that constant training and awareness going on out there. We all hate them, but they work. It's those fish campaigns out there that IT runs on you, and You're wondering when your leader's going to come yell at you when you accidentally clicked on something. Because Tom from Iron Bow sent this from me, and it wasn't.
Thanks for
that. The next one is just keeping up with being able to continuously see what is happening, doing awareness continuously. Like the 1 month we drive for it, and everyone has to remember is like the threats are ever evolving, and just continue those campaigns throughout. Do the regular education in there. Simple little quizzes are always good enough for a lot of the users, because as long as you just keep it in their forefront, they're going to be less likely to do the things you don't want them to do.
That touches on a passion of mine, because when we talk about phishing campaigns and cyber awareness training, there's a lot of next finish approaches where the eyes glaze over. Good, I did my training, I'm compliant, I didn't really learn anything, but at least now I can say I'm done and I move forward. And, as you know, with the risk formula, likelihood times impact, we're touching on the likelihood basically in the most minimal way possible, it seems like at times. And then we're trying to address how do we reduce the impact instead of really trying to work with our people. But beyond tools, what are the foundational cybersecurity practices every organization should commit to year-round?
That is one that I've thought about a bit coming into here, and it's actually something that really surprised me, is teaching users actually how to write good passwords. That is...
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 isn't a good one?
You can't
That's
just
6
change.
whole numbers. Come on, man.
It's always one of those things that everyone comes out and they're like, hey, I have to renew a password. We've had enough research done out there that now they're saying, hey, rotating your password every 3 months is a very bad idea. Like, you shouldn't do that. We pushed a lot on password managers, and people start generating passwords. I myself have access to probably like 300 applications. I don't know any of their passwords because I use a password manager there. But the next shift of worry is, who's protecting the password manager? Who's protecting the password of your password manager? No one's probably going to the step of using, some advanced certificate authentication or using a YubiKey on it. I don't know if you use a password manager, Tom.
I do. Because what I see often is speed over quality. I'm not interested in taking time to put something complex in or learn something new, like whatever password managers are out there, whether it's something native into your system or an actual third-party app. I'm going to do my capital password with the capital P and the 1, 2, 3 and just keep adding exclamation marks at the end. That way it's different the next time. I know exactly where you're coming from with that.
And it's one of the ones I went in and myself and I started looking through some of my passwords. Have you done a password audit of your password manager to see what the passwords were being generated?
I want to?
Are they complex? Because now you have someone else telling you. And this is another little bit is in the Prisma browser, we have our password manager in there to be able to monitor and check and track everything that the passwords are staying up to date with the corporate use. And also helps differentiate, because the next one, Tom, is do you have company passwords and personal passwords like you use in your internal apps in your password manager?
Intermingled, right.
Intermingled in there. There's a lot of people doing that out there, and who's to say, the old habit of reuse of passwords that everyone was worried about, is that happening inside of your password manager as well?
See, some of that comes down to me as well as when you talk training, people's eyes glaze over again. Oh, training. It's not a truly educational experience. And I feel like we put in all these various mechanisms. We require all these things, but we've never really taught people why. And so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s are out there. The password 1, 2, 3s are out there because, first it was have a password that's 8 characters. Well, now I have to have a capital letter, and now I have to have a number. Oh, well, now I have to have a special character. So I got to keep it easy to remember. And then you have some requirement that makes it so complex that you can't remember it in the first place. So that's where the Post-it notes come on the screen going, well, I couldn't remember the password because nobody's been educated well enough, or organizations haven't taken the time to educate their masses on why a password manager needs to be there, what the benefit is to the organization, how it can help protect you and your organization moving forward. Yeah, you're speaking my language, Ben. At Ironbow, we work with customers on workshops that dig into architecture planning and tool rationalization. Ben, how do these kinds of conversations help organizations cut through the noise and focus on what's essential to strengthening their security stack?
All of the engagements for consulting and architecture is, I think, critical for any organization to consider is bringing an outsider view like Ironbow into it to come look at what you're doing. We do all these trainings, we do everything that we can, but when you're trying to bring in a new vendor into the space, you're trying to bring a new firewall into your network that your network engineers are not trained on, you have no experience with, it's best to bring in someone like Ironbow to be able to consult and advise how is the best way to put this product in place. How should we do what we need to do to de-risk our items? Because we may be still thinking one way of this is the best way, but that may not work, or there may be a more optimal way to integrate this into those architecture conversations, I believe, just are critical to get that outside view. And, us as security experts, we can't know everything. It's always
What?
great.
Oh, come on.
When I do my CPEs all the time for everything, I'm just like, this is a lot. And, if you see the news article recently is Microsoft just broke apart their CISO office into multiple parts, even further than what they had for their product split, because the security realm's getting so big that we need more partners. We need more engagement. We need those specialists.
Absolutely.
And so what's the better way to get those than going through someone like Ironbow?
Okay. I like it. Ben, if there's one piece of advice you'd leave with leaders who want to make every month Cybersecurity Month, what would it be?
It's definitely just driving. I'll link back to what you were saying earlier, is teaching the users why. That is.
But we're too busy, Ben. We don't have that kind of time.
We're so busy, and with the use of AI, protected by, Palo, of course, you can make it a lot faster, streamlining it. But there's a lot of information out there. We're always looking our CISO meetups, our CXO meetups that we have. Everyone's always chatting. Everyone knows what's going on, but if we can just streamline and tell them why, hey, this is critical. I think inside of Palo ourselves, we do a really good job of driving that why. We're fast-paced, we fast move, we need to know. So we're always, on top of that, staying, and our users are always very much aware. We see our recognition of achievement of people recognizing threats on a continuous basis. We see people willingly going to these seminars with IT and taking those on just for no benefit than just knowing that they're protecting the organization that they are part of.
Okay, so looking ahead, what's next for cybersecurity hygiene in this age of AI and hybrid work?
Hey, have you seen the deep fakes out there? Have you seen what Sora has been created?
Oh, grief, man. Yes.
How many people out there do you think can tell the difference between these videos now?
Yeah. Minimal.
I'm one of those, you'd say, always online kind of personalities there. I can tell the difference, but even then, some of these videos that Sora creates are so good. There's no more of looking at a picture and looking for the sixth finger or looking for the third arm out there,
or the weird twitch that just doesn't make any sense.
Oh yeah, it's definitely there, and it is teaching them how to spot AI. The other big one in generated written content is who uses / anywhere.
Good
Have
point.
you seen
Yeah.
that? That's an AI thing. A lot of people don't know. There's a name for it. I don't know if you know.
I don't.
There's some literary name for that term. That / there was a big indicator, and everyone was wondering. And you have seen out there some executives even putting out publications out in the public, and there's / and some of the security folks are like, that's AI, and AI wrote that. Now that's going to start becoming more public impact on the words that are written, because if you start identifying that can impact your organization because it was written by AI.
Tag on. Yeah, it's in so many different aspects of our lives, some we don't even know about yet. Ben, thanks for joining us. And to our listeners, remember, staying secure isn't a one-month effort. If you enjoyed this episode of Tech in Translation, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. For more insights on cybersecurity best practices and secure digital transformation, visit ironbow.com. Until next time.